She was drenched in blood, her tongue out, her eyes wild, a necklace of skulls around her neck and corpses beneath her feet. But she wasn't a demon. She was a goddess. Kali, the Dark Mother, the destroyer of illusions. She didn't kill for pleasure. She killed to protect. And the world survived because she drank the blood. But why would a divine being become so terrifying? Why did she need blood to save the world? And what secret is hidden behind her rage? This is not just a myth. It's a message carved into the soul of the cosmos. A lesson about power, sacrifice, and the shadow side of the divine. Because sometimes only darkness can defeat evil. Long before temples were built and mantras echoed across the earth, the cosmos was a battlefield between light and chaos. And in the depths of this ancient war, a terror unlike any other was born. Raktabija. His name meant blood seed, and it was no metaphor. He was a demon blessed or cursed with a horrifying power. Each drop of his blood that touched the ground would give birth to another version of himself. Cut him once, and 100 new enemies would rise. Slay those, and 1,000 more would appear. He was not just one demon, he was an infection. An endless multiplication of darkness, bred from violence itself. The gods watched in dread. Warriors fell, lands withered. Even Durga, the great mother of war, the one who had slain countless demons, was pushed to the edge. She battled him, fiercely, her arms wielding a dozen weapons, her lion roaring through the carnage. And yet, the more she struck, the more she bled the world. Her power, for once, was not enough. With each wound she dealt, she unknowingly birthed more destruction. Raktabija was not fighting to win, he was waiting for her to destroy herself, but something ancient stirred within her fury. A force deeper than wrath, beyond reason, a scream of divine instinct, of cosmic necessity. From the very core of Durga's rage, Kali emerged. She did not descend from the sky. She erupted from within, like a forgotten memory of the divine feminine, that even the gods had feared to awaken. She was not robed in gold or crowned with light. She wore disheveled hair, blood-black skin, and a tongue too long for silence. Around her neck were skulls, not trophies, but truths. Symbols of endings. Symbols of what must be faced when prayer and weapon both fail. She was terrifying, not because she hated, but because she saw clearly. And what she saw was this. Raktabija could not be defeated through ordinary means. His death would never come from wounds, only from hunger. A hunger that refused to let evil grow. A mouth that would not allow blood to fall. As she stepped onto the battlefield, the skies darkened. Not in doom, but in reverence. The ground itself seemed to tremble, not in fear, but in awe. Because Kali had arrived, and she would not just kill a demon, she would consume a curse, and in doing so, reveal a truth about destruction that even the gods had forgotten. Kali did not walk into battle, she erupted into it, a force not born of logic, but of necessity. Her eyes, wild and unblinking, did not see friend or foe. They saw only one thing: imbalance. The kind of imbalance that could not be reasoned with or tamed. It had to be devoured. As she charged across the battlefield, her hair whipped like black flames, her feet crushing demons beneath her with every step. But this was not violence for violence's sake. This was surgical destruction. Kali understood what none of the gods had dared to admit, that Raktabija was not just a warrior, he was a contagion. Each drop of his blood was not a wound. It was a seed, a curse, an echo of something deeper, the dark truth that evil, when fought without wisdom, only multiplies. And so, Kali did the unthinkable. She refused to spill. Her blade sliced through his flesh, but not a single drop reached the ground. With every cut, she leaned in, mouth open, tongue extended, and drank. She drank his blood like it was poison and medicine at once. She drank with fury, not thirst, with sacred rage, not vengeance. And as the warm, metallic bitterness filled her mouth, something deeper was awakened. Not hunger, but memory. The memory that she, the divine feminine, was the last line of balance between creation and annihilation. Around her, the battle twisted into chaos. The other gods stepped back. They had never seen Kali like this. Not even Durga, her source, could comprehend what she had birthed. For Kali was not simply another form of divinity. She was divinity unmasked, unfiltered, raw. She was what the universe looks like when all illusions are burned away. She tore through Raktabija's forms, drinking and crushing and silencing the screams of 1,000 clones. The more she consumed, the darker she became, not in evil, but in gravity. The battlefield became a ritual ground, her dance a firestorm, of limbs and symbols. Time lost its shape. The stars dimmed, because the goddess had turned into the destroyer of destruction itself. But something shifted. When Raktabija's final body fell, when no more blood remained to spill, Kali did not stop. The hunger, once holy, began to consume her. Her tongue, once a sword of mercy, became a banner of wrath. She danced, not with purpose, but with momentum. Her foot crushed bones, then trees, then mountains. The dance that had saved the world now threatened to end it. The gods watched in terror. The earth cracked. Oceans recoiled. Life itself whimpered beneath her steps. Not because she was evil, but because she had become pure power, unanchored from form or goal. She had become what even gods fear, a storm with no center, a fire with no altar. And in that terrifying beauty, there was a deeper truth, that even divinity, if disconnected from love, can destroy the very thing it was meant to protect. That's when he came, Shiva, the unmoving one, the cosmic observer, the silence that holds all sound. He saw Kali not as chaos, but as necessity gone too far. And so, he did not attack her. He did not plead. He lay down in her path, not as a god, but as a mirror, not remembered like a fact, but like a soul gasping for air. She remembered that she was not rage alone, that within her darkness was compassion, that the dance of death must always yield to the stillness of love. Her tongue rolled out. Her eyes softened. The drumbeat within her stopped, and the earth exhaled. In that moment, the world was not saved by force, but by surrender. Shiva's surrender, Kali's surrender, two polarities of the divine meeting not in war, but in stillness. And as the battlefield grew silent, as the blood dried and the sky turned blue once more, a secret was left behind, one the gods would never speak aloud. That divinity, in its rawest form, is both terrifying and tender. That creation and destruction are not enemies but lovers, and that sometimes to protect life, the goddess must first become the destroyer of illusions. She must become the one who drinks the blood. The battlefield was quiet now, but something had changed, not just in the air, not just in the gods, but in the very fabric of existence. Kali had stopped dancing. Raktabija was gone. The blood had been swallowed, not spilled. And yet, the taste of that blood still lingered in the cosmos. Because this was never just a war between gods and demons. This was a war inside the soul, a war between suppression and truth, between control and release, between illusion and awakening. Raktabija's curse, his endless multiplication, was not simply a power. It was a metaphor, a reflection of something that exists in every human being, the ego that multiplies when attacked, the desire that grows stronger when denied, the pain that spreads when ignored. You cannot defeat such forces by simply fighting them. You cannot wound them and hope they disappear. You must face them and digest them. That is what Kali did. She did not destroy evil by resisting it. She absorbed it. She became the sacred fire that turns poison into medicine. And in doing so, she revealed a terrifying truth. That real transformation is not clean. It is not quiet. It is not polite. It is raw. It is bloody. It is uncomfortable. It is a dark night of the soul that no mantra can skip, no ritual can replace. Kali is the shadow side of the divine feminine, the part that says no when the world only values yes. She is the scream that breaks centuries of silence, the sword that cuts through the lies we tell ourselves. She is not evil. She is truth, in its most dangerous form, because truth doesn't always come with light. Sometimes it comes soaked in blood. Sometimes it tears everything down before it builds anything new. Her act of drinking the blood is not about violence, it's about alchemical consumption. She teaches us that to truly evolve, we must stop trying to kill our demons. We must feel them, swallow them, integrate them. Her message is clear. Your wounds are not meant to be ignored. They are meant to be digested by your awareness. Only then do they stop multiplying. And yet, her story doesn't end there. The moment she steps on Shiva and pauses, that's not just an ending, it's a revelation. Shiva, the cosmic stillness, is not afraid of her rage. He honors it. He grounds it. He reminds her and us that power without presence becomes destruction, that even divine rage must bow to awareness. This moment between them, her wildness, his silence, is the perfect union of Shakti and Shiva, action and stillness, chaos and order. It's not a battle of opposites. It's a dance, a cosmic rhythm where each energy knows when to rise and when to fall. And that's the secret hidden in the blood, in the dance, in the silence that follows. Balance is not the absence of extremes. It is the sacred rhythm between them. In your own life, you've met Raktabija. He is the trauma that repeats, the wound that won't heal, the thought that multiplies every time you resist it. You've also met Kali, in your anger, in your breaking point, in the moment you finally said enough. And maybe you've met Shiva too, in the breath that calmed you, in the stillness that found you, in the voice that said, let go. This story is not just ancient, it is eternal. It's happening inside you every time you face something that cannot be solved, only transformed. That's why Kali is worshipped not as a monster, but as a mother. Because only a mother dares to go that far into darkness just to protect what she loves. Only a mother dares to drink the blood. So ask yourself, what are you still trying to kill when maybe you need to face and swallow it? What parts of your shadow are still dancing, waiting for you to step into awareness? Kali is not here to punish. She is here to purge. She is not the end. She is the passage. Through her, death becomes rebirth. Fear becomes power. Blood becomes liberation. We often imagine divinity as calm, luminous, distant. We want gods to smile, to forgive, to whisper peace into our brokenness. But what if some gods appear not to calm you, but to confront you? What if the face of the divine is not always gentle, but terrifyingly honest? That is Kali. She is the part of the sacred that does not whisper, she screams, not to harm you, but to wake you, to drag your buried pain to the surface and force you to look at it. Because what we don't face controls us. What we don't name multiplies. So maybe the real question isn't, why did Kali drink the blood? Maybe the question is, what blood are you still spilling instead of drinking? What wounds are you still trying to avoid, hoping they'll disappear, while they only grow stronger in the shadows? Raktabija lives in every mind that multiplies fear, in every generation that repeats pain, in every part of you that resists transformation. And Kali? She's the one inside you who knows. She's been waiting for you to stop playing nice with your demons, waiting for you to stop trying to stay pure when your freedom requires you to walk through fire. So now, look within. What is the blood you must consume? What is the dance you're afraid to begin? And would you have the courage to let Kali in? Because maybe she's already there, waiting for the moment you're ready to stop surviving and start transforming. Let that question burn in you. And now tell me, if you stood before her, blood on the ground, shadow in your heart, would you drink it? Would you dance? Would you dare to awaken? Leave your answer in the comments. And if this story shook something inside you, if it cracked open a forgotten truth, share it. Someone out there might need Kali more than they know, because the goddess doesn't just destroy, she delivers.